Good morning everyone, my name is Michelle. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video. It is Monday morning the 25th of June and we're sticking with the Jay Slater case today. This is the missing young man, 19-year-old Jay from Oswaldtwistle in the great county of Lancashire here in the UK. I live in Lancashire, I know it's great. He was over on the Spanish island of Tenerife for a music festival last Monday morning, so a whole week ago now. He went missing. He'd spent a night with two guys that he met at the festival and he'd gone back to their place, which is nearly 30 miles north of where he was staying in Los Cristianos. He called his friend Lucy early Monday morning saying that he'd been stabbed by a cactus, that his phone was on 1% and that he was thirsty. Ophelia, the lady who owns the bar and restaurant near the Airbnb where Jay went with those two men, said she saw him. He asked her about a bus and she said the bus is at 10 a.m. But instead of waiting a couple of hours, Jay wandered off into the hills. Ophelia said a little bit after Jay had asked her about bus times, she was out in her car and she saw him walking along the road north. So here is where Jay was, and Ophelia a little bit later, Jay was walking quickly along this road. I think Jay got to here and then took the mountain path up here. That's what I think happened. He could have even gone this way, up there. There's kind of a track. That would have meant Ophelia saw him on the road about here. But whichever way he went, Jay was going in completely the wrong direction. And he hasn't been seen since. And with the case garnering so much attention in the British press, and there's not that many people outside of the mainstream media that are actually covering Jay's case on YouTube, which I find interesting given the amount of interest. But anyway, maybe that's a good thing, because rumours are swirling madly. I don't know where these rumours are coming from. This is the latest one, about an hour ago, in one of the Jay Slater Facebook groups, and it appears Paige Gray has got insider information. Yeah, maybe from TikTok, who knows. Apparently there has been 2 bodies found last night in the mountains. Has the search now been called off then? I've seen a few videos of people going back to their hotels, etc., and no longer searching today. Maybe the searchers were going back to hotels because it was night time. I don't know, just a guess. There's certainly nothing in the mainstream media about any bodies being found. Now, it doesn't mean to say that there hasn't been bodies found. You know, quite often when there's an extensive search for a missing person, they do find human remains. Sometimes it happened in the Gabby Petito case. It does happen, right? Because areas that don't normally get footfall are gone over with a fine-tooth comb and they find things that have been perhaps out there for a long time. So I've not heard anything about 2 bodies being found, but given that the British press are all over this story, I think probably there would have been some news about that. And very early this morning, Debbie Duncan, who is Jay's mother, has commented about how sad she is and how disappointed she feels about the British public. I'm really saddened by all your comments. You seem to be so bothered about this GoFundMe page. I really hope I'm not taking my son home in a body bag. The funds are not released and won't be if not needed. I really can't believe the British public are not supporting me in trying to find Jay. This may happen to any one of you one day. Very let down by you all. Yes, it could happen to any one of you. And then, how would you feel? How would you feel? This woman, Debbie, is mourning the loss of her son. She's no idea where he is. And likening her to Karen Matthews from the Shannon Matthews case, quite frankly, is just ridiculous. Ridiculous. But social media does this to every single family, whether they're innocent or whether the cops are investigating them as suspects. Now, there's no evidence whatsoever that any member of the family or even Jay's friends are under suspicion. This GoFundMe account that I think it was Lucy that set it up, the friend that Jay was out there in Tenerife with. It's not Lucy that can access those GoFundMe funds. It's Debbie. Now, every time a GoFundMe's set up, there's always problems with it. There's always dramas with GoFundMes. I don't know what to tell you on that one. I guess a GoFundMe is a just in case, but according to Debbie, no funds have been released from the GoFundMe. So at least for now, people maybe should leave that one alone. And then, if not to make matters worse, Mark William Thomas has offered to help, saying that he could find out what happened to Jay in 3 days. Now, this guy is reminiscent of Peter Falding in the Nicola Bulley investigation, making claims that he can't possibly substantiate. So this is investigative journalist Mark William Thomas, who's offered to fly out to Tenerife to assist police with their investigation, as if the Spanish police can't do an investigation. He's an ex-cop, but he hasn't been a cop since 2000. He was a detective and a family liaison officer, and all this is according to Wikipedia, with Surrey Police from 1989 to 2000. Apparently, he worked on child SA cases, and one investigation was into the abuse allegations made against Jonathan King, which led to King's successful conviction. Then he left the police, don't know why, and he was the marketing manager for a company. In 2003, he was charged with blackmailing a funeral home director after alleging that there were multiple bodies buried in unmarked graves, but he was acquitted for that. Then he's been self-employed consultant, and in more recent years, he has been a journalist. He interviewed Stuart Hazel, if people remember the Tia Sharp murder from 2012. He's done investigations into Jimmy Savile. And last year, he alleges that he worked on the Nicola Bulley case. What he did in the Nicola Bulley case was go on TV supporting all the wild, outlandish theories and standing by the river. That was the sum total of his investigations into Nicola Bulley. But now he's offered to fly out to Tenerife. Oh yeah, absolutely. Promising to deliver Debbie answers to what happened to Jay in 3 days. Having feet on the ground and looking at the scenario and circumstances, I know I will get to the bottom of this in 3 days. If the family work with me, I will get them answers. It's crucial for the family. It's difficult for them dealing with foreign police who handle it differently. But I'd need their full cooperation, and I'd need to speak to every witness involved, those that he's been with since he's been on the island. Some people will be more persons of interest than others. He added, it's a week on now. I need to get on the ground and get them answers. It's about finding Jay. I come with credibility. We'll work with them and the Spanish police to get the answers they need. We need to establish what the involvement is with these two guys that he stayed with. Why he went back to the Airbnb and then why just leave? The chances of him wandering off are possible, but is there more to this? The police have spoken to the two men who Jay stayed with. They've been allowed to go back to the UK. Mark, by tracking these two guys down, is doing nothing but antagonising the situation. The police know where these two guys are. The police know who they are. So if information came up, let's say Jay was found and information came up that these two guys did do something, well, the cops know where to find them. All right, they could go on the run. But Mark William Thomas isn't going to be able to do any more than the police have done. So, yeah, this is somebody that if I was a member of a family of a missing loved one, I wouldn't touch with 2 barge poles tied together. What about this sighting that I talked about in yesterday's video? What I did was look at the nearby churches, and I actually looked down here, because if Jay got to kind of this area, the top of the mountain, which must be stunningly beautiful to look over the valleys here, but under these circumstances, I think the beauty is irrelevant. But I looked at Las Portiellas and this town up here, but apparently the church is further south. The Parroquia de San Fernando Rey Church in Santiago del Tide, where the sighting was reported. Apparently there's been rumours that it isn't Jay. Apparently there's been rumours that the guy who it was has come forward, but the police haven't made any comment at all about this. So I'm putting this down to somebody who maybe looked a bit like him. Given that this is further south than the way Jay was headed, I'm not convinced. So it's here. And this is a bigger town. So if Jay was there with 2 guys, why would he have remained missing for the last week? So the search continues into its 8th day. And I just hope that there is some news today. Let today be the day that Jay's family get the answers that they need. And if the family are taking Jay home in a body bag, at least that's closure. At least they'll have their boy back. It's devastating. It's heartbreaking. It's something that no family should ever go through. But sadly, this happens every day all over the world. Please, guys, give this family a break. They're going through a lot. Please think about it. If it was you, how would you feel? How would you handle a situation like this, where you're thrust into the public spotlight? Every word, every mannerism, everything is analysed by people who, quite frankly, should probably keep their mouth shut. But let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye, guys. Good girl. Good girl. She's there. She's like a girl. Good boy, Noodle. Good boy.